You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So what's on her mind? And for you now, you are listening to Ty on the line. You've got Ty on the line on her podcast. So what's on her mind? And for you now, you are listening to Ty on the line.
Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of Real Life with Ty. This is episode 16, and this week we are going to talk about pansexual, being Haitian, and having that experience. Let's go ahead and get started.
Darling, fetch me my teacup.
In celebration of Haitian Heritage Month and Haitian Flag Day that just passed, this week I had Haitian Tea, asoci. This tea is really good for cleaning out your system. You can add lemon peels, girofle. I don't know how to say girofle in English. I'm sorry. Salt, and you can drink it like that, or you can drink it with nothing added to it. It is very bitter if you drink it like that, and you will be peeing like crazy. But it does clean out your system, and common use of this tea is to clean your system prior to a drug test or just to detox your body, and it also helps with weight loss. You can find this tea in local fields. It is a specific leaf, so it's not just random tree bushes or leaf bushes. Like, it is a specific leaf, and I'm going to add a picture of it on Instagram once this episode is out so you guys can see. This week's spotlight, I wanted to go ahead and shed spotlight on the abortion laws that we all have been hearing about. Now, celebrities have went ahead and spoken up against this abortion laws, and a lot of other people too. I wanted to go ahead and do some research to see what has already been implemented. It seems as if, well, actually, it is. Georgia, Kentucky, Missouri, Mississippi, and Ohio has a bill that prohibits abortions after 6 to 8 weeks of pregnancy, which is usually when doctors start to detect a fatal heartbeat. Arkansas and Utah has a bill that limits the procedure to the middle of the second trimester. Now, Tom Nelson, Tom Butler, Garland Gutner, Larry Stutz, Sam Garvin, Steve Livingston, Clay Schofield, Andrew Jones, Jim McDeldon, Randy Price, Cam Ward, Darn Roberts, Shay Shelnut, Gerald Allen, Will Barefoot, Tom Whitley, Donnie Cheeston, Clyde Clambliss, Jimmy Holy, Chris Elliott, Jack Williams, and David Sessions. Who are these people, you may ask? They are the 25 diverse group of white men who passed the bill that restricts abortion in Alabama. This is one of the strictest abortion laws. This law will ban all abortions with no exceptions for victims of rape or incest. They want to completely remove the woman's right to end her pregnancy, which means forget about the birth risk associated with incest, forget about not having the means to take care of that child, forget about the rise of children in foster care and adoption, forget about the risk of young girls committing suicide because they will have to live with the idea of having a child from their rapist, their father, their cousin, their brother, their uncle, and the list goes on and on. It's crazy to just think about how not even one woman was included in this decision. Like, can you think about that? The fact that a man, it's like we're going back into time before when women had no rights. To think that today in 2019 that this is where we're at is just, I don't even have words for it, because at the end of the day, those people are the same people who are complaining about welfare, complaining about food stamps, complaining about housing, complaining about giving aid to these people, but yet you are restricting them from doing what they want with their body. You go home every night to your situation and you don't have to deal with that. And it's kind of like out of sight, out of mind. I never understand how people get so caught up with like gay rights and abortions and all of these things that literally does not affect your day-to-day. People, there's probably a gay marriage going on right now. Does it affect you? Do you hear about it? Do you see it? Does it make you feel some type of way? No. These people are literally living their lives, and it's people that are in bigger like what's that word, who are in a sense of authority get the right to choose what or not they do on a day-to-day basis. That is just insane to me, and I literally just have no words for it. At the end of the day, we are women. We have the right to do whatever we want with our bodies. And to make matters worse is the fact that men don't have any sense of consequence. Yeah, okay, people are like, well, you could put a man on child support, and if he does have a job, because we have to include that, if he does have a job, then child support will be deducted from his pay. Now, if he gets paid under the table, or if he doesn't associate it with his social or whatever the means that things can happen, like, he doesn't have to pay it. Yeah, he does go to jail, but this is after years and years. It's not guaranteed that he has a direct punishment for child support. Like, there is no, it's not a two-way street. Like, everything is put on the woman as if it's not already enough that we go through, but now you are sitting here putting this burden on us as well. Like, at the end of the day, it's our body. We should be able to do whatever if we want to do to it. Like, you don't have to go and ask somebody if you can get a tattoo or piercing or change your hair color or add a butt or hips or thighs or titties, but you could pick or choose if somebody can have a baby or not. Like, whew, okay, I'm gonna leave this where it's at, because this is just ridiculous, and it's honestly just bonkers to me that in 2019 this is where we're at. So moving on. Now, it has caught my attention that some people noticed that at the end of my episode last week, instead of saying boy, I said girl. This was no mistake. I was in a relationship with a girl for 4 years. People who know me know this, and some that don't, I have no shame in admitting this. I don't like to put labels on things. I don't believe in labeling things, but if I did have to name it, I would have said that at some point I was a pansexual. Now, pansexual means that you are attracted to the person physically, emotionally, and romantically, regardless of the person's gender identity. In other words, you're attracted to the person as a whole. Like, you're drawn to someone without taking account, like, if this is a boy or a girl. You're just attracted to their soul, their spirit, their vibes, as people would say now. And that's basically what it was. So for a long time, it wasn't like, okay, I like girls more than I like guys, or I like guys more than I like girls. It was just like, if I had a connection with you, regardless if you're a boy or girl, I could be in a relationship with you. So from an early age, I knew that I had a thing for girls, because I used to play house, but it would mostly be with girls in elementary school. And I used to be a really big tomboy. Like, and it's so weird to me now, because now I'm afraid of all these things, but I would play outside and catch turtles and tadpoles and frogs and lizards. I used to bring them in the house and, like, scare my sister with them. And now I'm terrified. It's so weird. Like, I really don't like any of those things. But I used to always wear basketball shorts. I used to play outside a lot with all the boys. I was the only girl on my block, so we would all ride bikes together. Like, I was really heavy into, like, just being a tomboy. I didn't like doing my hair. I didn't like doing anything girly. And I didn't associate that with, like, being lesbian or anything. I just associated that with, those are the things that made me more comfortable. Like, even to this day, I will still have, like, a lot more pants than dresses or skirts. Like, I barely wear skirts because I just enjoy being comfortable. Like, I don't know, that's just how I am. So my first experience was, I had a best friend who was Chinese in elementary school, and I spent the night at her house and vice versa. And one night she asked me if I wanted to play a game. Now, you can only imagine what that game was, and I liked it, and we would do it every time we seen each other, but I never was like, okay, I like girls now. Like, it was just, I figured that was just our thing. I don't know. Long story short, I ended up moving. We lost contact. And then when I got to high school, I did have a boyfriend, and I dated him from 7th grade to 10th grade. But he was like a thug, like, in the streets, like, about that life. So long story short is that he went to jail for 4 years. Now, during that time, while he was in jail, I did only date girls after that. Like, I had a few girlfriends in high school until I met Lakeisha my junior year. Now, How Lakeisha and I started off was honestly a bet. Like, Lakeisha was known to be a thought, like, I'm not gonna lie, in high school, and she was known for stealing everybody's girlfriends. So it was like my friends bet me to just hook up with her. But so I think it happened on Twitter. Like, something happened on Twitter and we subtweeted each other, and then we just like talked, and the more and more we talked, like, we really had a strong connection for each other. It was so crazy. Like, we couldn't even hug each other. That's just how, I don't even know. Like, I don't know. That was just how attracted we were to each other and how crazy our connection was. So the first night we hung out, we ended up having sex, and boom, we were in a relationship for 4.5 years. Like, and you're probably thinking, girl, you're Haitian. Like, how did your parents feel about this? Oh my goodness. My stepmom and my dad were cool about it. My dad was like, it is what it is, but don't bring it around me. My stepmom was like, if that's what you like, then that's okay. She would talk to Lakeisha, and I had no shame bringing Lakeisha to like my family functions. She even learned how to like understand Creole and stuff like that. Like, we were in like together. We lived with each other for a year, and I honestly thought like I was going to be with her forever. And my mom, though, oh my goodness, my mom was not having it at all. And for a very long time, I hid it from my mom until one morning, like, I used to sneak Lakeisha into my house. We all been there when we stuck like the little girlfriend or boyfriend into the house. And one morning my mom came to pick me up, but she came a little bit earlier than expected. And when Lakeisha was like jumping our backyard fence, my mom was parked in the driveway and she seen her. And my mom was like, oh, that's a girl. What are you doing? Da-da-da. And I was like, no, I don't know her. She just probably, used our gate to jump from another house. Like, I was just making up all these excuses. And my mom is like not dumb at all. So she was just like, Jean bois douce and Jean so bon pa compenser ça man ni chef fombo. Like, basically, let me translate. She was like basically saying how dick is so good. Like, how would I enjoy like basically rubbing vaginas with a woman when dick is so sweet? And it was just the most horrific conversation I've ever had with my mother. And every time she would see me, she would have that conversation with me, and she hated it so much. Like, my mother would never accept it. And one of her biggest things is like, she said she wouldn't accept it because of the fact that she didn't raise me. So I was raised with my stepmom and my dad. So she felt like there was something that happened to me in my childhood that caused me to be that way. And nothing nothing traumatic happened to me to cause me to be like that. I don't know. It just happened, and I ended up liking it. Now, like I told you guys, I wanted to be with Lakeisha for the rest of my life. Like, I wanted to propose to her. I wanted to have her babies. I didn't see myself with anyone else. But unfortunately, that's just not how things went, and our relationship just didn't work out. We're still cool to this day, but we just learned that we aren't the best for each other because our relationship just was really toxic and crazy, and we were young, and it was just really too much. Now, I had my first like guy experience 2 years ago. I wasn't a virgin. Like, I lost my virginity when I was in high school with the boy that I was with from 7th grade to 10th grade. And it was just weird. I didn't really enjoy it then. I'm like, this is not what sex is like in the movies. But you're young, you're inexperienced. Like, you don't know really what you were doing. And plus, I was really afraid that somehow, some way I was going to end up pregnant. So it just was never an enjoyable experience. And then, so I didn't have sex with any other guy all the way up until I don't even remember how old I was, but I think I want to say I was like 19. And it was weird. It was really weird for me because I never was penetrated. Like, we never used toys, we never did anything like that. So for the first time, yeah, I just felt really disgusting. I felt so dirty and disgusted with myself, and I was just like, oh my goodness, like, it's not for me. I didn't like it. Like, I only was doing it to like satisfy the person that I was with, but I didn't enjoy it really. I don't know if that makes any sense. And then 2 years ago when I started to talk to this guy, and he kind of just, trust me, I took him through hell and hell water about like having sex and being comfortable because it was new to me. Like the first time we had sex, I went in the bathroom and I cried because I felt so disgusting and so uncomfortable and just weird. I just felt really weird about it. I felt like I was like betraying the lesbian community or the pansexual community. Like how am I switching over? Like it was all in my head thinking about, oh, it was just a phase and I was just this and that, and I was really freaking myself out. So he had to be really patient with me, and it took a lot of time for me to get comfortable with him and open up to him and things like that. And then I finally started to enjoy having sex with a guy. I finally started to think of, okay, I can be with a guy. I can have a boyfriend. I can have a husband. I can see myself having kids with a guy. Like I started to become more comfortable with the idea, but it was something that had to grow on me because my first sexual experience, like I told you, I was young. So it just was weird, honestly. And it's something like, sex when you're a kid versus like not a kid, but sex when you're like a teenager versus sex when you're an adult is like two different things. You really start to understand your body more. You start to understand orgasms, what turns you on, what you like, what you don't like. Like you really get more in tune with it. I don't know if that makes sense, but that's how I felt about it because I wasn't having sex all throughout high school. I literally had sex once or twice, and boom, he went to jail, and then I was with girls for the rest of the time. So I was very inexperienced. I wasn't out there like that. I thank God that I wasn't out there like that and doing it like that, but that's why I felt so uncomfortable, and it was something that I kind of had to learn and grow into, like start to learn my body and understand certain things. And like I literally just learned how to masturbate like I want to say 6 months ago. It's just like all of these things are new to me, and I'm really shy and awkward when it comes to things like that. So I just mostly stay to myself, and I don't know, it's weird. Yeah, don't mind me. But if you're out there and you're like that, like I get it because I'm the same way. So now people always ask me, okay, so do you see yourself being with a girl now, and or like was it a phase? And honestly, I did have another experience with a girl. Like I did try to talk to a girl afterwards and everything like that, but it didn't feel the same. It felt like, this is cool, this is fun. Like I can kiss a girl and we can have fun and things like that, but I don't see myself physically having sex with a girl again. I don't see myself being in a relationship with a girl again. It just, now it's like, I don't like it anymore. I'm still attracted to women. I still find them beautiful, but I just know that I wouldn't cross the line with that or really get into that. Now, I'm going to go ahead and answer some of the most common questions that I have been getting over the years and more than once, which is so annoying. So, first thing first, no, I am not with my ex. We have not been together in years, literally like going on 3 years. Because I was getting my hair braided, I want to say a year ago. And the girl who was braiding my hair, she was from Boynton. And she was like, oh, I thought that you and Lakeisha are still together. Like, no, we're not. Not at all. And people still think that, and we're not. Like, Lakeisha is in a whole nother relationship with someone else. And I'm just out here chilling, living my best life. And let's see. So I'm going to go through the other most common questions. So how do girls have sex? This is the most dumbest question that I just don't understand how people ask that stupid ass question. But you can go to Pornhub and type in lesbian sex, and it will give you a visual of how girls have sex. So which is better, boys or girls sex? Honestly, they're so different that I don't have an answer. Like girl sex is more emotional and intimate because, like I said, I didn't do the toys. I always thought that was weird. It's like if I wanted dick, I would go get dick. Like I'm not about to do this plastic thing with you and you feel like you're doing something, but you're not doing something because you don't feel like. I just didn't understand the dynamic of it. Like I enjoyed being with a woman for the same reasons that a guy enjoys being with a woman. So it just wasn't for me. So like that's what I mean by girl sex is more intimate because you're using your hands, you're using more of your mouth, and you're using your body like are more connected as opposed to like guy sex. Yes, you're physically connected more, but the emotional ties are different. So they're just two different categories, and I can't honestly say that, okay, this is better than this. Like, no. So do you still consider yourself a pansexual? No, I mean, like I told you guys before, I still admired women, and I usually look at them before my man does. But at the end of the day, I know that I can't really move forward with a woman in that way, and I don't want to, you know? So was it a phase? Honestly, no, because I really loved my girlfriend, and like I told you, I was prepared to spend the rest of my life with her, but that just wasn't in the card for us, and I've just kind of been like, okay, cool, because women are so, oh my gosh, women are so disrespectful. I feel like a woman can break your heart 10 times worse than a man can, just because they know exactly what buttons to push. Like, they know exactly what to do, how it's going to make you feel. Like, they know for a fact. And me and my ex were connected to the point, like, she could walk into any store and get me anything, shirt, pants, underwear, and it would fit me perfectly. Because she knew me. She can go to any restaurant and get me anything that I wanted. And I'm a very picky eater without even asking me and knowing that it would be right every time. We would finish each other's sentences. She would know from me saying hello, like, if something was wrong. Just from the thing of saying hello. So we were just a lot more connected. But I know that it wasn't a phase. It was just, we had a situation, we fell in love, and it taught me a lot, and it's just like, that's what it is, you know? So since then, have I been with a girl? Yeah, like I told you guys before, I did a year ago, but it just didn't feel the same. It was really weird. Have you or will you ever have a threesome? No. I don't believe in mixing the two. I don't like the idea of like a guy having sex with me and then using the same condom having a sex with a girl, and it's too much for me. It's like, okay, so you're having sex with this girl, then you're gonna put the same condom that you used on her in me, and then we gonna, like, no, I'm sorry, maybe I just think too much into it, but threesomes are not for me. Have you ever had a girlfriend and boyfriend at the same time? Nope, I've never had a boyfriend and girlfriend at the same time. I've never believed in mixing the two. Like, if I was with a girl, then I was with a girl. If I was with a guy, then I was with a guy. Like, there was no, I have a girlfriend and boyfriend. I think that is so crazy. So now, how do you identify? I'm strictly dickly. It's so funny to me because my sister used to tell me, my older sister all the time would be like, I really don't think that you're into girls. I just think that you haven't had the right sexual experience. And I'm like, no. I'm pretty sure that this is it for me, blase, blase. And sure enough, she was right. Like, now I'm just strictly dickly. Have you ever had a crush on one of your friends? Yes, I have, but I never told her or acted any type of way with her because I didn't want her to make her feel uncomfortable or anything like that. And to be honest with you guys, I feel like every girl has a little bit of gay in them. It just takes the right girl to bring it out, because I've had girls that have never had any source of like girl to girl interaction, like kiss a girl, anything, but then for some reason they were attracted to me and wanted to do things. So I'm sorry, but I really do feel like every girl has a little bit of gay in them. It just takes the right girl to bring it out. And it may not even be gay. It may just be like a sexual, not experience, but like a sexual interest, or curiosity is the word, a sexual curiosity. I think every girl has a little sexual curiosity in them, and it just takes the right girl to bring it out. I'm telling you guys all of this to say, like, at the end of the day, it doesn't matter. Like, I know, especially in the Haitian community, like, being gay or lesbian or anything like that is so frowned upon, and a lot of people really do find themselves in situations where they're depressed and they're not happy because they kind of have to live a double life. And I felt like for a long time I had to like a guy, to make my mom happy. But at the end of the day, it's going to be you in that bed with that person. And when your mom passes or your dad passes or whoever it is in your family that is making you feel this way passes away, who at that time do you have to answer to or hide from? At the end of the day, I want to be 100% happy with the person laying next to me. And that's all that matters, because that's the only person you'll have every day. Your parents are going to be there. Yes, they're going to be a part of your life, but they're not going to be who you're coming home to every night. They're not going to be who you're waking up to every morning. Do whatever makes you happy, genuinely, 100%. I'm telling you guys, like, if things didn't go sour with Lakeisha and I kid you not, I probably would have been married right now, having her baby. Like, that's the person that I loved. And it just didn't work out. But at the end of the day, it wasn't because of my mom. It wasn't because of my dad. It wasn't because of how anybody felt. It was because our relationship just didn't work out. Just live in your truth. Like, live in your truth, no matter what that may be. If you like what you like, then it is what it is. Do you. That's boys and girls. And you know how it's more frowned upon for guys to be gay than it is for girls to be lesbian or be bi. Like, guys being bi is also negative, but at the end of the day, however you identify is however you identify. If you don't want to add labels to it, you don't have to add labels to it. Just continue to do what makes you happy, what makes your heart beat. Because I'm a firm believer in love, and I love love. I love the idea of love, and I feel like everybody deserves it, regardless of what you interpret love to be. So if you guys have any other questions in regards to my pansexual experience, feel free to DM me. I'm always open to talk about it. As always, you can find me on Instagram and Twitter at Real Life with Ty, or you can email me at reallifewithty@gmail.com. I'm always down to talk to you, so you can hit me up on Instagram, Twitter, or my email. And as always, thank you so much for listening and tuning in to Real Life with Ty. Holla.
You've got Ty on the line on her podcast.